Do this. We are good to go. We're firing on YouTube and on TikTok. So let's see how this goes. I might try a different way after this. We'll see how this live stream goes. I watched the playback on YouTube last time, and it was kind of lagging a little bit. So we'll see how it goes this time. But if I don't like it this time, then I'll switch over to Zoom, or I'll try something different. But second time trying out YouTube, last time it was pretty cool. So I got TikTok, I got YouTube, TikTok, say hi to YouTube, YouTube, what's up to TikTok. And you guys know how this goes. If you have questions, drop them below, because we are here for you guys to answer whatever you need. If you're new to us, if you just started following us, I'm Casey, the other co-founder of Pre-PT Grind. It's Joseph, and we help you get into PT school without wasting time, money, stress, anxiety, frustration. The list goes on and on. So that's who we are. That's what we're here to do. And yeah, well, this earlier today, I guess I'll start ranting until we got questions coming through. Earlier today, I dropped a video on YouTube about scholarships. So if you're looking for scholarships, whether you're in undergrad or whether you're in PT school, whether you just got accepted or you're in high school, it doesn't matter. Scholarships are scholarships. Money is money. So definitely check out that YouTube video on scholarships, how to find them. Because I have a link in the description on how to find them, where to start, and I give you a list of scholarships, from undergrad scholarships to different places to find them, to graduate school scholarships, to get you guys started. So you can either go to the link in our bio, whether you're on TikTok or Instagram, or if you're on YouTube, you can go to that YouTube video, how to find scholarships for physical therapy school, and in the description you can click that link in the bio, or you'll click that link in the description. Then that'll take you to our scholarship starter, is what I called it. So you can get that there. Then virtual observation hours are going to be opening this week. Virtual observation hours are going to be opening this week. So if you didn't know we had virtual observation hours, make sure you get on it. Link is in the bio, or link is in the description. And or you can just go to observationhours.com as well. Sign up there. There is what will tell you how to sign up and where to go about it, and all the details are there. So yeah, that's what it's all about. So I'm gonna get into some questions here on TikTok. Then YouTube, if you guys got questions, fire them away as well. All right, let's get into it and see what we can get done here. I have a C in one of my science prereqs. Would it be wise to retake that course before applying? So good question. So with a question like this, it really depends on what your overall GPA or GPAs are looking like with that C. Because you could have a 3.57 with a C in that class, and if you retake it, it might bump you up to a 3.59 or a 3.61. Is it worth it for you to retake it? Yes, no? That's what we need to find out. Because the general answer is, if you have a C, then yeah, retake it. It's best general wise counsel for you to retake that C. It's going to bump you up a lot. But not in all cases. If you have a great GPA already and you just have one little C lacking down there and it's not really hindering you a lot, then you might not. So that's all I recommend you thinking through. General answer is yes, just retake the C, but not knowing your specific situation, you just have to think through some things. So that's it. Good question, though. Good question. Let's see. 3.8 GPA, 300 plus hours, but a less than average GRE score. What do I think your chances are at getting accepted into PT school? So my question back to you is, the schools you're applying to, what do they want? Is your GPA and your hours what they want, and they do not want a GRE score? Then you might be in great shape without the GRE. You might be in great shape. If they do want a GRE, then my next question is, do they want a certain number, and is it hard? Like, is there a hard cap on that number? Like, they want a 300 total score and they don't want anything below it? Or are they like, we recommend a 300, but we sometimes take a 297? So that's going to vary with my answer back to you on, do you have a great chance or do you not? Because if they have a hard limit on that 300 and you don't have it, then my answer is going to be like, you need to retake it, even though the other stuff is very high. So those are my questions back to you with that. But overall, it looks like you have, just with the few amount of things you mentioned, it looks like you have a great application. So in general, you should be more than good. So yeah. What's going on YouTube? What's going on TikTok? Say hello to each other. YouTube, if you have questions as well, drop them below. I know when I watched the YouTube from last time, it was lagging a little bit. So I'm going to watch it back and see if it's doing the same thing this time on YouTube. But TikTok, let's see what other questions you got. Is kinesiology a good major? Yeah, kinesiology is fine. Kinesiology is a good major. Nothing wrong with a kines major. How do you prepare for the GRE? So there are many ways to prepare, but a common way that we answer this question and give advice is called error-based preparation. Like ERROR. Error-based preparation. So instead of just skimming through the whole book, whether you get Magoosh or Kaplan Prep, or Manhattan Prep or Gregamat or whatever, instead of just skimming through that information, you can take a practice test first, or some sort of practice test to see where you're at and see where you're lacking at. Then once you do that, now you can focus on where you're getting those errors at. Again, error-based preparation, and you can focus on those errors so that you can fix them and get that bump in the higher score that you want. Because you can go over it again and go over the book again and just bump up incrementally because you're just studying what you're good at plus what you're bad at, or you can focus on the points where you can focus on the sections where you can get the biggest point value bump, and that can bump you up much more, and it can be much more time efficient. So that's what I would say. How do you go about recording observation hours? You can go to the link in our bio here in TikTok, and you can scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you can download our observation hours form. And there we give you a verification form and kind of a log sheet, and that's how you can log it. Or you can just make your own log sheet and just record it that way. Say, I went to this location, this is the PT's license number, they signed off, this is the hours. That's it. Nothing crazy. That's how that is. There we go here. What would you recommend a major of? Would I recommend a major of physiology or exercise science? I'd say whichever major is easiest on you and your schedule and your GPA. So if you look at the exercise science classes and you're like, I can get a better GPA, or I'd be less stressed, or I can work during my undergrad by taking exercise science, that major, then do it. If you see that same scenario with physiology, do it. The major doesn't matter. They're not going to look at your application and say, what's your name here? They're not going to look on Girl on Crack's application and say, oh man, she took or he took physiology instead of kinesiology. Oh my gosh, they're so much better. Like, it just doesn't work like that. As long as you have the classes they want, the prerequisites they want, you can be a music major for all they care. As long as you have that and have good grades with it, you are more than good. So it all depends on your school and what's going on there outside of the classes. What do we do if we're not confident about our GPA besides retaking? So I have a playlist on YouTube. Called How to Stand Out in 3 Minutes or Less. And that gives you ways to stand out, to answer your question, around your GPA or outside of just your GPA. But this is an important question because in reality, why you don't have to look for things outside of that. Like that is going to be impressive, and that is going to give you confidence. Because oftentimes what we see, especially with GPAs and retaking classes, students, and I'm not saying this is you, but students are saying, what else can I do? Is there anything else? Because I don't want to retake the classes because it's too much money, or it's too hard, or I just don't want to do it. And they end up trying to go around that obstacle of retaking the class. When in reality, you need to go through that obstacle of retaking the class, because that will get you a better result. That'll help you stand out more to the school, and that'll show the school that you can handle that class, meaning you can handle the classes in physical therapy school. So if you really want to stand out and impress them, you can retake the class and get a better grade. And that's not the easiest thing to do. I had to retake some classes, so I know. I'm talking from experience. It takes more money, takes more time, it takes more effort, it's harder. Why do that if you can do something else? But in reality, that's the best thing to do. So if you want to build up to your confidence, the best way really is to retake that class. Because if you retake it, then you're like, shoot, I just killed that the second time. Or I went from a C in that class to an A. Nobody could tell me nothing. Look, school, I killed it. Look, school, I got this A that you wanted. Look, school, I can handle whatever you're going to throw at me in PT school. And that's where that confidence comes from. It comes from doing the work. Because even if you do something around it, you're still not going to be confident, because you're going to say, oh, but I have 5,000 hours, but I'm still unconfident about my GPA. So the confidence is going to come from doing the thing you don't want to do. It sucks, but it's the answer to your question. How many schools did I apply to? The first time I applied to 1 school. The second time I applied to 5, maybe? 5 or 6? Somewhere between 4 and 6. I think it was 5. That was way back in 2013 and 2014, so it was a while. Do you have to go in front of a board and do an interview with them? Not always. So some schools have a board style type of interview. What's going on YouTube? If y'all got questions on YouTube, type them in the chat. I'll definitely get to them. But some schools do have like a board type of thing or a group type of interview. Most schools just have a one-on-one type of thing, whether virtual or in person. So you don't always have to go in front of a board, but it's usually in a one-on-one type of interview like that. So yes and no. I already sent letters of recs to the PTs. Will it be deleted by June when I apply? Yes, the letters will be deleted, but that's not the end of the world. If they already wrote the letter, just have them save it somewhere. Hopefully it's saved on their computer or in their email, and you just resend another email to them, and they just upload it again. So yes, it will be deleted when it opens up again in June. The last time I checked Ptgas, that's how it works. That's how it's going to work. So unless they change anything on June 15th, we'll see. But in past years, yes, the letters of recommendation are deleted. So just let them know that they'll have to resend it in. PTA student here. I lost it. PTA student here. I start my clinicals next month. If I missed any questions, guys, just let me know or ask the question again, and I'll be sure to get to it. PTA student, any advice for clinicals next month? Just have fun. The most important thing with that is to, 1, make sure you get to know how your CI operates, your clinical instructor operates, and get to know how the clinic runs, because you want to be an asset to the clinic. First and foremost, you just want everybody to like you. Then all the clinical stuff and all the questions and all the techniques, and that comes later. But the first couple of days, you just want people to like you. So make jokes, see how the environment is, see how the attitude is, and just get to know people. Just get to know people, get to know your patients. It's really just learning the electrical or electronic medical record system and all that stuff. So enjoy it, have fun. And just act like you're already employed. If you act like you're already employed, everything else will follow suit. I'm a pre-PT and a dance double major. What would be some good grad schools for performing arts PT? Good question. So from what I know, there are no specific grad schools for performing arts PT. And the good news, this is good news for you, it doesn't matter what PT school you go to, because they're all of their jobs is to get you to pass the board exam and make you an entry-level PT. So if you want to specialize in dance or performing arts, the good thing is that that's going to be up to you, no matter the school you go to. So you can take your pick of school. They're going to make you all the same PT. Where it matters is your clinical rotations. Do you have relationships built where you can go on clinicals, like the last student, the PTA student, starting their clinicals? Do you have any relationships where you can go on a clinical with a performing arts PT? If not, then after you graduate, then you can look for jobs as a performing arts PT. So there are no schools, PT schools, that specialize in performing arts. From what I know, it's up to you in clinicals or residency or building relationships to make that possibility for you. Hardest part of becoming a physical therapist? Good question. I think the hardest part for me, this is a good question after the clinical questions, was integrating the administrative work with the clinical work. That was the hardest part for me, especially coming right out of school, because in clinicals, it's really all about making sure that you do the clinic stuff, that you're getting better at the techniques, that you're getting better at treating patients, really, that you're getting better at all the stuff you learned in school, and just getting acclimated to the clinic and how the electronic medical records work. I've been talking all day, y'all. I've been recording TikToks, YouTube videos. I did an observation hours case study that's coming out Tuesday, so my bad. But yeah, the hardest part was merging those two things together, because once I had my full-time job, I had to handle a caseload of patients, plus all the administrative work, like who their physicians were, who their lawyers were, if it was a work comp injury, if they were going back to surgery, when they were going to be discharged, what their outcome measures were, making sure they weren't falling off the schedule and canceling. Plus, I had to remember, oh yeah, I have to fix their shoulder too. So just a blend of that was just different. And it's just like anything else in life. Once you learn something new, it's just an adjustment period. So that was the hardest part for me. Other than that, it's a pretty chill job. It's pretty easy. It's pretty laid back and relaxed, especially at my clinic. So yeah, after I got past that, and I started at a really busy time in the clinic. So yeah. Hey, we got a YouTube question. So I'm gonna get the YouTube question here, then I'm gonna hop back over to TikTok because I see y'all have a lot of questions here. All right, Allison, what's going on? On the topic of retaking, I have retaken Chem twice and now gotten the same bad grade of a C+. You said it's indicative of the PT classes, but Chem is so hard and something I'm guessing not passionate about. Do you think it would be different since PT is something I'm interested in? So if I'm understanding the question correctly, Allison, you're asking, since you got a bad grade in chemistry twice, do you think you'd still be good enough to become a physical therapy student? Do you think you'd still be able to pass the rigor of Doctor of Physical Therapy program? I think that's kind of what you're asking. If not, just let me know. Stop me. But if that's what you're asking, yes, you can still be a great physical therapy student. With Chem, it's not necessarily that you're a bad student. It could be that you might just need to change some of the study strategies. Oh, that's it. Okay, perfect. It might just be that you need to change some of the study strategies that you've been trying in the past to make sure that it works for classes like Chem or other classes that you might struggle with in the future. So if your study strategies were just rereading the lectures or whatever they were, maybe changing them up to factor in the Pomodoro technique or the Feynman technique or spaced repetition, right? Or active recall. If you tried any of those, have you not, maybe a mix of them, I'd say try switching up your technique if you retake Chem again or when you're taking other classes, because learning how you learn is an important part of what you guys are going through when taking prereqs. So once you kind of learn how you learn best and kind of crack that code, that will give you that confidence back to say, oh snap, I did it, I made it, I pushed through. Now I understand how to how to tackle this better. So yeah, that makes sense. Usually classes like that are weed out classes. Exactly. Teaching style is difficult. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Chemistry is definitely a weed out class. So yeah, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. Good question. Good question. And YouTube, if you guys have more questions, or if Allison, you have more questions, drop them below. YouTube, I'm on TikTok. TikTok, I'm on YouTube. So we're doing this thing. What's going on, guys? Let's see. Less prereqs. Oh, PTA program. Yeah, the thing about PTA programs is they don't want scrubs either. Like, they want you to have a good GPA as well. They want you to take certain classes as well. So they don't want bad applicants. Sometimes it feels like, oh, can't I just do a PTA program because it'll be easier to get into? I mean, it's easier, maybe like McAdee said, with maybe less requirements, but they still want you to be good or have passed all those requirements at a high level, even though there are a less amount of requirements. So don't go apply to PTA school thinking, oh, it's a breeze, I can apply with a 1.2 or a 2.5 GPA. Most schools don't want that either. So am I a PT now? Yes. Let me show off this very expensive piece of paper again. Yes, I'm a PT. I graduated in 2018. Then I got licensed in 2018 as well. So this cost me a lot of money, but yes, I'm a PT. I'm a physical therapist. Sorry, I'm a PT now. How many PT schools should I apply to? I'm thinking of applying to at least 5. 5 is good. 4 to 7 is good as long as you can do these 2 things: pay for all the schools you want to apply to, and apply to those schools, however many it is. Like, they're the only school in the world. If you can do those 2 things, you can apply to as many or as little schools as you want. Observation hours be disqualified if you only have their signature and not their license. This is going to depend on the school, but most likely you need their license. That's what I've seen on all the observation hour information you have to put in. So when you go on Ptgas, you have to put in some information as well. So, and they're going to ask you for their license number. Maybe if you email the school, if you really can't get it, that might work out for you. You might be okay, but for the most part, you're going to want their license number as well. But that doesn't mean you can never get in if you don't have their license number. It's just a lot of people want it. And there are spots for you to put that in. 3 C's in prereqs, but you are a certified athletic trainer with 1,000 hours. So basically you're asking, if you have 3 C's, but you're an athletic trainer, can you still get accepted? I mean, you technically still can. Like, it's really going to depend on, I just need more context to that question. Like, what schools are you applying to? What is that school's minimum GPA? Do they allow 3 C's? What's your overall GPA? How does that school calculate GPAs? It's a lot that goes into that question. A general answer would be it's going to be very bumpy for you. You might get on some wait lists. You might get called right at the end to join the program. Because 3 C's really tells me that you probably have a lower 3.0 or less than a 3.0 cumulative GPA and or prerequisite GPA. So the thing about getting certifications and having 1,000 hours is and I did a YouTube video about this, there are no requirements to be certified. There's not a requirement from any school I've seen to be an athletic trainer, personal trainer, massage therapist, none of that. They want what they want. So you saying, hey, but I'm an athletic trainer and have 1,000 hours, can't you just accept me? The school will be like, well, we don't even care if you're an athletic trainer. Can it be a cherry on top? Yeah, but we wanted what we wanted. Whatever that is with their GPA. So, good question. What's a good GPA for PT school? If you go to Ptgas Applicant Data Report, a general answer across the board is a 3.4. A lot factors into that. Depends on the school you apply to. The school you apply to has different ranges, so you can go to our GPA our GPA data report. Link is in the bio. YouTube, the link is in the description of our other videos as well. Hypothetical sitch, where you took a chemistry course with a lecture and lab, and you only retake the lecture. Do you know how the GPA will be calculated? So with the lecture, I'm guessing this is not a lecture and lab combined. I'm guessing it's not combined. So it's going to be hard for them to replace the class if they're taking the higher grade. But if you're just going off the Ptgas applications or the Ptgas calculations, then they will factor everything in. So the Ptgas calculations, Jason, is just a computer system and AI system, and they're going to tally everything up from all your undergrad, from the classes that don't matter, then the classes that matter. Then they do some calculations with the science GPA, then a math one, and in between. It's all just calculated up. So that's how the Ptgas calculations happen. So that's just going to be averaged in. Where it's going to get a little tricky is if a school takes the highest grade, how are they going to view your lecture without the lab if it does not already include the lab in it for that second retake? So I recommend emailing that school and seeing what their policy is on that. Then you can get a better answer. Good question, though. PTA versus PT in terms of requirements. I think Mel or McAdee, I think that was the person. I think they kind of answered that. There's different requirements. Yeah, it just, even the PTAs have different requirements. Like PTA school to PTA school, there's different ones. So from what I know, you do not need a bachelor's degree for the PTA schools. I'm 99% sure of that. Then there's less classes you have to take as well. But those are the big differences. I recommend looking at their websites, though. I did a video a while back on it, so if you want to scroll all the way down, you can as well. Cheers, boss. All right, I think I got that question for Jason there. Good stuff. Glad I could help. Let's see. Hope I didn't miss nothing. Let me scroll up. Good GRE score for each section: 150 verbal, 150 quant, around a 4 analytical writing. Does a master's degree help in the application process? It could, but it's not a savior. It's also not a savior. So just like the athletic trainer certification or the athletic trainer that we talked about, that we talked to earlier, it could help technically from the GPA calculation standpoint, but it's not a save all either. So it could help. Just watch my YouTube video on a master's degree. I explain it there as well in more detail, but it could, it couldn't. I go into the calculations of a master's degree with GPAs on the YouTube video. So Max Barks, definitely check that out. Is a 3.1 good? Depends on the school. General answer is it's not the best. Could it get you accepted? It could, but not the best. So it could be good depending on the school, but if you can get it higher, I definitely recommend getting it higher. Hey, YouTube, we're climbing up a little bit. We got 5 people on YouTube. We got like 25, 24 people on TikTok. 6 people on YouTube. Let's go. This is good. Cool, good stuff. Should I get a... I'm guessing that was a typo for athletic training certification. Andrew Parasol certification? I'm not sure what an Andrew certification is, but athletic training, same thing as the master's. We talked about athletic training before you hopped on, but you don't have to. If you want to, for your personal gain and for your personal plans, get it. If you're just trying to get it to stand out because you think it'll cover up your low GPA, it might be a waste of time. Only thing I'm worried about is my GRE scores. Any tips? Error-based preparation. GRE tips, error-based preparation. Focus on your weaknesses so you can get that biggest point jump up. Don't study the stuff you're already good at, because that's You're already good at it, so you max that out. Focus on maxing out the stuff you're not good at. That'll give you the biggest point increase. Can I still apply to PT schools if I haven't taken 3 prereq classes, but I intend to? Yes. This question gets kind of nuanced as well. So when are those classes going to be done? I'll keep it simple. For most schools, you can only apply with 2 classes outstanding. So you can only apply to schools if you don't have 2 prerequisites taken. Who is this? Zudini, you might want to DM me. Make sure your privacy settings are open. We got to get more nuanced on that, but let's leave it at 2 for this general answer. You can only apply to 2. You can only apply to PT schools with 2 outstanding prereqs, with 2 prereqs not taken. So, yeah. Salary for PTA versus DPT. Josie, check out my YouTube video on PT salaries. I go into a lot of detail and give you specific places to search for that. But let's just say in outpatient setting, general answer is around $50,000 for a PTA, around $75,000 for a DPT. That's just general. The factors range widely. There's so many factors. Just please go watch that YouTube video I did on PT salaries. You'll be like, oh, that's what he meant for salaries in physical therapy. So, yeah. Hey, YouTube coming with the questions. We got 10 people on YouTube. What's going on? TikTok, you going to YouTube? What's going on? What's going on, YouTube? How important is anatomy? It's everything. It's everything. I'll keep it at that. Anatomy is everything. What's next after undergrad? Physical therapy school. 3-year graduate program. Some schools are 2-year. Speak about a U.S. citizen will be able to attend an international physio program and then come back to the U.S. So can a U.S. citizen study outside of the U.S. then come back? Technically, you can. You just have to make sure that physio school has some sort of equivalence to what we have to do in the U.S. Because if it doesn't, then you're wasting your time. Because you'll have to come back and basically go to PT school, or you can become a PTA. I took a jurisprudence exam on this about 4 months ago, so I'm a little fuzzy. But basically, to keep it short, you need to make sure that it's some sort of equivalence with the program overseas, so you can come back and get your transitional doctorate or take the board exam here so you can be a licensed PT here, if that makes sense. So number 1, make sure the school matches up and you'll be able to come over here and take the board exam. If you can do that, then you're fine. Okay, go to fccpt.org. I think it's .org or fccpt.com. There you can get a lot of your foreign kind of certification information there. So yeah. You don't have to answer this, but if you aren't comfortable, how did you pay for a PT school? That's a good question. I'll get to that in a second. Let me make sure I get to TikTok too. Competitive range for GRE, 150 verbal, 150 quants. Organic biochem. No, most schools don't need biochem or organic chemistry. Do you recommend being a PTA before being a PT? It depends on what you want. It depends on what you want. If you need to be a PTA or want to be a PTA for whatever personal reasons, then yes. If you're just going to get your PTA degree just because you think it'll be easier to get a DPT degree, it doesn't work like that. Having C's isn't the end of all things. No, it's not the end of all things. It definitely is not. How many observation hours usually needed? Depends on the school. Some schools say 50, some schools say 100. It varies a lot. But just get whatever they want. Get the minimum. They have a video on their IG about that. Yes, we got tons of videos. What major should I take to become a PT? Major does not matter. We got a video on that on YouTube as well. So yeah, major doesn't matter as long as you have the prereqs. What school do you recommend in Texas? I have a video on low-cost PT schools on our YouTube channel, so hop over to YouTube. Sarah, hop over to YouTube and check out my YouTube video on low-cost PT schools. A lot of low-cost PT schools are in Texas, so whatever school is the lowest that you want to go to that school. All right, coming back to YouTube, Allison was asking, how did I pay for PT school? Federal loans and scholarships. I got scholarships and I took out federal loans. So that's how I paid for it. If you're asking how I paid it off, I lived below my means. I increased my income. I negotiated my salary. I invested in myself, and I invested in stocks. Like very well. At first, I invested in very safe stocks. Then, as I got more comfortable and increased my knowledge, I invested in higher return stocks, and now my net worth is technically more than my student debt by a good amount, so I'm good. Good question, though. What should I study before entering PT school? Anything you want, as long as you take the prerequisite classes. You can do music, finance, architecture, communications, doesn't matter. Oh, since you're on YouTube, Ramon or Raymond, watch my YouTube video on majors as well. How long did it take you to become a PT? 4 years undergrad, 3 years grad school. Some people it can be 3 years undergrad, 3 years grad school. And there are some 2-year physical therapy programs as well. So anywhere between 6 to 7 years is really what it takes to become a PT. How did I get my observation hours, service hours? I just got them. I went to the clinics. This was, of course, before what's going on now. But if you need observation hours, go to, and this for you guys as well, TikTok, observationhours.com. That's where you can go as well. All right, coming back to the talks. What major? Major doesn't matter. PT school I recommend. Applying to 5 PT schools. How bad is the debt to income personally, since that's the biggest stigma? I have some videos on that as well. Zudini, check out my YouTube video. I got tons of, well, not tons, but I go into depth explaining a couple videos explaining the finances of PT. But to keep it simple, if you can keep your, in a perfect world, if you can keep your debt zero, that's best. If you can keep it below 87,000, 90,000, that's better. If you can keep it below 150,000, then it gets a little worse, but it's still better than some other healthcare degrees. Then once it gets like to $250,000 in debt, like it's not any better than a bachelor's degree. So if you're interested in that debt to income, is PT worth it, all that stuff, go to my YouTube videos. Is PT dead? Should you not go to PT school? I talk about that a lot. But really, if you can keep that debt low, the lower you can keep the debt, the higher the return on investment is. So definitely go type into Google. This will be your homework. If you have questions about money and PT school and all that, go to Google and type in net present value. Net present value. I'll type this into YouTube. Present value physical therapy school. And you'll find what I'm talking about. There's a study done on this. Net present value physical therapy school, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Who knitted that logo? Oh, go follow her. I forgot her TikTok name, but her name is Chelsea. Her name is Chelsea. If Chelsea, you're on, drop your @ below. Dang. Chelsea did this. She's one of our accepted system students. She knitted me this. She has a small business. Check her out. She comments on some of my TikToks. Chelsea, I forgot her full TikTok @. But if you go to follow, like who I follow, and you type in Chelsea, you'll find her on TikTok. What's a good GPA? 3.4. GRE tips. Error-based preparation. Focus on what you are not good at to get the biggest bump. I'm confident in my skills and knowledge, but I'm nervous. It's okay, be nervous. Nervous is always going to be there. Taking the GRE. Looking forward to apply. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, YouTube, let's see what you got here. How prepared were you when you went to PT school? I'm currently stressing as I feel that I'm not retaining much info. I don't think I was too prepared, but it's all about adjustments. Just like in any sports, anything new in life, once you get adjusted, things slow down. Things slow down. You've seen those movies where, especially The Matrix, when everything's so fast to him, then he gets a handle on it and things slow down. That's what you need to do. Like, you just need to get a grasp on what's going on, and you need to focus as much effort and intention on the things that matter in PT school, like the big classes, the big tests, so you can survive during this period. Because I know I was there. It's tough, but you need to make sure that you're using the right study strategies, like active recall, the Feynman technique, spaced repetition, the Pomodoro method, going to office hours, working in a study group. You need to make sure your time is being used effectively so you're not getting frustrated. So yeah. How early can you enter your stuff? I don't think I did a YouTube video on this, but I did a TikTok/Instagram video on this. You can enter everything you said on this list. You can enter except the references and essays. You cannot enter essays. You cannot enter references right now. But you can enter, I think, hours you can enter. But there is a list of stuff. I have it on my Instagram and TikTok of things you can enter early. So just scroll, put a little effort in, scroll down on Instagram or TikTok, and I mentioned what you can enter. I'm blanking right now. But I do have a post about that. All right, I'm going to come back to YouTube. Let's see. TikTok. Did I go to trade school? No, physical therapy school is a graduate program. It's a clinical doctorate. Let's see. Were you able to work in PT school and maintain both? Yes. After my initial kind of 3 months in PT school, I was working every weekend. My school was about an hour and a half away from my house in Chicago, so I came back every weekend and I was working. We started pre-PT grind in physical therapy school. I was a social media director. I was a staff writer. I was a golf caddy. I was a drummer. So yes, you can work. As long as it revolves around your world and your schedule, you can work. Congrats. Just got an email. I'm officially accepted. Congrats. PTA program. I'm a first year, about to be a second year. Kansas. Congrats. What's the best way to study for the GRE? How long is it recommended? 3 to 4 months. You can go 2 months. It all depends. Best way is error-based preparation. Focus on your weaknesses. When do most schools open their applications? June 15th is when you can start working on your application for this cycle. Is a new program as well as I'm not sure about that question. I'm sorry. Ask it again. New program as well as a medical school? I'm not sure. Do you personally suggest KT tape to your patients? I only do KT tape for my patients if they have like some sort of patellofemoral pain syndrome. That seems to work really good on some patients. That's the only thing I really use it for. Other than that, I don't really use it, but seems to work pretty well for my patients for patellofemoral pain syndrome. That's what you're asking. Got into a program that's seeking accreditation. Is that a bad decision? No, it's not a bad decision. Luis, I'm guessing Luis, watch my YouTube video I just put out last week on accreditation in PT school. I break that thing down, all the way down. So if you're applying to PT schools and you're not sure about their accreditation, watch that YouTube video. Just type in pre-PT grind, accreditation. ER observation hours. inpatient and we'll be getting outpatient. No, you're fine. You don't need any more. Whatever the schools want, get those observation hours, then you're good. How long did it take for me to become a PT? 7 years, but it's usually between 6 to 7 years, depending on the schools you go to. PT school doesn't work out. That's another field close enough. What's another field? Anything in the medical field. Whatever you're interested in. Pharmacy, nursing, physician assistant, nursing, CRNA, athletic training, massage therapy. So yeah. Still apply to PT schools if I haven't taken 3 prereqs. Oh, I answered that. Zudini, DM me about that. Did you go to trade school? Nope. Starting PT school in August. That's what's up. How long? Okay, I think I got some of these. I'll come back to that. All right. Should I take the Diego certification? I don't know what that is. Senior in high school and was accepted into several colleges where I have guaranteed seat in the physical therapy school after graduation. Yes, that's a good idea. Take it. Or should I wait to go to a less expensive school? Oh. That's a good question. You need to think about what you want for your future and how you see these finances playing out for you. So I recommend getting with your parents, use their financial advisor, look up financial advisors on YouTube, like do your research for finances, because this is a big deal. Because if you can go to a less expensive school, but keep your grades as high as possible anyways, like go to community college, then transfer to a 4-year university and still get like a 3.6, 7, 3.8, 3.9, 4.0, then that's just as good with all the other stuff. That's just as good as getting a guaranteed seat at a more expensive school. Because once you're a physical therapist, nobody cares where you went to school. Nobody cares if you're a 3+3 accepted freshman student into a physical therapy program, or you went to a community college, then university, then physical therapy school. Nobody cares. So it depends. There's a lot of stuff that goes into that, but if money's big for you, I always like the less expensive route. Will there be a part 2 or any other video similar to how to get into physical therapy school using relationships video? There could be. It just depends on if you're still on, Jason, let me know what questions you have, and that can give me another idea as to what you're looking for in that video. We talked on the phone. I think we talked on the phone, right? If this is the same Jason. But just message me, or I can do a part 2. It just depends on what questions you have. When you got to PT school, were you expected to already know a lot from your undergrad anatomy? No, they tell you everything you need to know. They teach you everything. PT school teaches you everything. So yes, it's good to know stuff you like. They make sure that you have an A or a high B in anatomy, because you're going to be learning a lot of the stuff again, but 1,000 times more in depth. So, like, if you forget some stuff, that's okay. They're going to make sure you learn it. They're going to brainwash you with the anatomy stuff. So, you'll be good. Videos explaining study methods. Not on YouTube. I have a lot in our coaching program. But if you just type into YouTube active recall, the Feynman technique with a Y, so F-E-Y, I believe. Spaced repetition, if you type in any of those words, you're going to get a slew. Like, there are huge PT study channels on YouTube, or on TikTok, especially on study materials. Experience in acute care. Oh, that was you, Jason. Oh, what's up? Another power call. What do you recommend? Oh, yeah, 10 out of 10 recommend the power call. If you want a power call with me or Joseph, go to our website and click the coaching calls. But yeah, good stuff, Jason. Experience in acute care. It was a different world. It was a different world than outpatient. Acute care is a totally different world. Acute care experience is the main thing. This is the main thing about acute care experiences, is that what I learned there, especially in clinicals, not so much observation hours, but when I knew more about how things worked, what you'll find, and if you pay attention to this, if you're doing observation hours there, is physical therapists' main role in the hospital and inpatient settings, especially the general hospital inpatient setting, is to tell the rest of the medical team if the patient is ready for discharge and where they should go after being discharged from the hospital. That's the main expertise a physical therapist is needed for in an inpatient setting. Where should the patient go? How functionally ready is the patient to either go home or go to a nursing facility or long-term acute facility or subacute or another, like, that's your expertise. Your movement, functional, physical therapy expertise is needed to tell the physician and the nurses and the pharmacists and the rest of the team, social workers, on where they should send this patient next. That's the biggest thing I got from acute care. There's a lot of cool stuff in acute care, though. Oh, burns. Burns was cool. And wounds care was cool as well. Trick to remembering origins, insertions, innervations, and action. Active recall was a big thing. And understanding that the origin is usually like that anchor, right? And the insertion is what the origin pulls on. So for example, if you think about an anchor, or you think about the foundation for the pec, a pec major or minor, it's the sternum, right? Pretty sure it's the sternum. Then it goes to that intertubercular groove, like that inside lip of it, and it pulls this way. So if you think of that, what's the anchor there? When the arm moves, what's the anchor? The sternum. What does it pull on? That intertubercular groove? The inside lip? I think that's the right, I'm saying, you know, the thing there. So that's how I always thought of it. Same thing with the bicep. What's the anchor? What does not move and what moves? The origin would be the supraglenoid tubercle. Then it attaches on the radius down here. So the origin would be the thing that does not move. The insertion would be the thing that moves. Then action, that's easy. Then innervation, the nerve is where it gets a little tricky, but the nerve especially is, you got to use active recall for that. Is a month a good enough time to study? Depends how good you study. I know some people who killed it in a month, some people who had a hard time and needed 3 months. I mean, it could be. Having trouble finding low tuition DPT schools in California. Any recommendations? State schools. All the Cal State schools are the lowest ones you're going to find. I'm sorry. Texas and the Southeast has the lowest cost for PT schools. California does not have the lowest. If you find any, let me know. But if you go to that low cost school video on YouTube that I did, low cost physical therapy schools, you'll see what I'm talking about. But I don't know any low cost California schools. The lowest ones will be state schools. Almost at your first clinical rotation. Good stuff. Okay, congratulations. All right, let's wait for these questions to repopulate. There we go. PT schools in Arizona. AT still. Arizona State. Ooh. Midwestern and AT still are the biggest ones that come to mind right off the top. AT still and Arizona State. I think Arizona State. No, sorry. Midwestern and AT still. I'm not sure if Arizona State has a PT program. Just go to Ptgas, put in Arizona. You'll see. How early can you take the GRE? As early as you want. That's the good thing about the GRE. There's no time limit. There's no nothing. You can take it early. Have you ever dealt with home health? No, but I do know personally one person that is very in the trenches of home health. Then I have a lot of associates and colleagues, acquaintances online who do home health as well, or did home health. First clinical rotation at a SNF. Do you have any experience with that? So one of the hospitals I was at out in New York, out in Brooklyn, they had a SNF attached to it, but Same thing with a hospital or a SNF. Your expertise is needed for discharges, like what your input is going to be most useful for the rest of the medical team as to where you're going to send that patient next. For a SNF, it really gets cool. The fun stuff comes in is if you had some very highly involved patients, like neuro patients, gunshot wounds, spinal cord injuries, traumatic brain injuries, strokes. You might see a lot of that in a SNF, skilled nursing facility. Do you have to have all A's, or are a couple A's and B's okay? A's and B's are fine. You don't have to have straight A's. I did not have straight A's. When should you start doing hours? When is it too late? Too late is after the deadline. Too early is it's never too early. Go to observationhours.com. Observationhours.com. And you can start getting observation hours now. There's no time limit. Would it be better to find an out-of-state, low-tuition PT school instead of California? I mean, how do I tell you to go to a low-cost physical therapy school without telling you to go to a low-cost physical therapy school? But I know I can't just say that. I can't just say yes, because I don't know how the rest of your life is set up. Do you have kids? Do you have a husband? Are you about to be engaged? Do you have a family member you have to take care of out in California? Do you have help? Somebody who can help you pay for tuition? There's a lot of factors that go into it. So I'm not just going to say, oh, move to Texas or go to a lower cost PT school because that's the best thing to do. It could be the best thing to do for your financial health and your financial future, but it doesn't mean you have to. It doesn't mean that's always the right decision for you. There's just a lot of stuff that goes into it. General answer could be yes, but doesn't mean that you're enslaved into debt forever if you choose to go to a higher cost California school. Like my school, I think in total, it was a private school in Michigan. I think it was close to $90,000 for PT school. Plus I had some of my undergrad loans there. So I graduated under 150. It was like 145 or 148. I keep seeing two of those numbers in my head. So it was one of those two. It was in that range. And now, like, if I wanted to erase all that today, I can go on my laptop and pay 140. Well, now it's not 140. It's more like, it's less than that. But I can pay it off and have more money left over. So, like, I guess I'm debt free, even though I still have the debt in my account. But I have more money than, you get the idea. The main point is it's not as scary as you think. You can still have a plan to pay it off if you choose to stay in California. So just educate. If you do want to stay in California, educate yourself about finances, student loans, how to pay it off, what your plan is going to be, where you want to work, how to negotiate salaries, all that stuff. Medical assistant at a chiropractic office. That's fine. If you're having fun, if they're paying you well, if they're treating you right, nothing wrong with that. Learn some traits and stuff. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. All right. That was fun. YouTube, I got a lot of viewers on YouTube this time. I got 5 likes on YouTube. Hey, TikTok, if you're still on, do us some love and hop over to YouTube after that and give some likes on the video. It's greatly appreciated. It'll help remind you, or it'll help bump our stuff up into your YouTube feed next time I post videos and do stuff. So give it a like on YouTube, subscribe on YouTube, go to TikTok, all that stuff. Why do y'all end up switching majors? I don't know what you mean by that. Why do y'all end up switching majors? You cannot. You don't have to stay in the major. You can switch. The major doesn't matter as long as you have the prerequisite classes done. So some people switch because some stuff is easier. Well, I don't know. I didn't switch majors. My major was the same. Even though I was pre-pharmacy first, then I switched to physical therapy. My major was the same. Oh, every PT major always switches. Then in that case, it's the same thing as like pre-meds or med students, right? So why that happens is they're pre-PT or they're pre-med, then they hit biology, then they hit physics, then they hit organic chemistry, and they're like, oh my gosh, this is hard, or I got a C or I got an F. I don't want to do this, or my parents are making me do this, so let me switch to something else. So it's either they're being forced to do it by their parents, or they cannot handle the classes, or their advisor tells them they can't do it, so then they switch. So it's just basically them getting hit with a dose of reality as to why they switch. Taking classes in community college put me in a disadvantage? No. Take the class at community college. You can take it at a university. No, you are not at a disadvantage at community college for 99% of the schools. You might find an asshole school out there who's like, oh, we don't do it. You don't want to go to that school. I'm thinking of specializes in peds, but I'm not sure how. Graduate with your physical therapy degree, get your license, go on a clinical and a pediatrics rotation, then get a pediatrics job. You can do a pediatrics residency if they have them out there. None come to mind. But as long as you get into PT school and you graduate and you have your license, you can specialize in whatever you want. Could you do PT and be an athletic trainer? Yes, you can do both. You can definitely do both. Definitely do both. Hey, what's up, YouTube? Woody the Badger. Do PT schools even look at the different majors? I guess I'm asking, does a certain major stand out in the crowd? The only majors that really stand out from the crowd are the majors that they do not see all the time. So, like, if you're a music major, they're going to be like, oh, wow, why were you a music major? If you were, like, a quantum physics major or something crazy, they're going to be like, oh, why are you that? But the major doesn't matter. You can be a music major, but have a 1.5 GPA. They don't care about you trying to stand out with a major. If you got a 1.7 GPA, they're going to be like, I don't care about the major. You don't got the GPA or you don't have what we want. So the only ones that stand out is if you have their requirements first and if it's something way totally different out in left field. So the normal, like exercise science does not stand out more than kinesiology. Kinesiology does not stand out more than bio. The good news is it doesn't work like that. That's the very, very good news. Hey, likes on YouTube going up. I see y'all. I see y'all TikTok. What is it? Yeah, I see y'all. That's what I'm talking about. Thanks, y'all. Hey, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Appreciate the love. Likes going up on YouTube. That's what's up. In your opinion, do minors help? Not really. In my opinion, not really. If you have it, great. Use it to your advantage. The minor will help. Here you go, Allison. The minor will help if you know how to use it. If you know how to use it. What have you learned about your minor in psychology to help you in interviews, to help you in essays, to help you in the application, to help you communicate better? That's how it's going to help you. But you just having the minor, not going to help you. Should I get that Diego Alejandras degree like you said? Yeah, get the Diego Alejandras degree. Sure, you can get that degree. Does ranking matter? Oh, I got a YouTube video on that too. Ranking does not matter. You can watch that. Just type in pre-PT grind. Hey, 11 likes. Let's go. And 14 people on YouTube. Y'all coming over to YouTube? What's going on? What's all up? 11 likes. That's what I'm talking about. Ranking doesn't matter. Type in pre-PT grind rankings. I tackle that too. College student, kinesiology. When should I start shadowing? Now, go to observationhours.com because I'm going to be dropping a new case study on Tuesday. So observationhours.com, new case study, Tuesday. Observationhours.com, new case study, Tuesday. Observationhours.com. So you can start now. All right, it's been a little over an hour. Thanks for the love, y'all. Appreciate the love. We got YouTube popping here with 11 likes. We got TikTok with still 20 people on. That's what I'm talking about, y'all. That is what I'm talking about. I'm going to have to do this again. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to have to do this again. So look out for some type of announcement Wednesday or maybe Tuesday night. I won't be on here next Sunday. I know that. But Tuesday or Wednesday, maybe look out for an announcement. Nursing. Can you still apply to PT school with the same prereqs? Yes. If you have the prereqs, yes, you can apply. Does observation hours apply to OT students too? It can. You have to just make sure you know how the schools look at that. So if the schools are saying observation hours only can be under an OT, then no. If they're saying observation hours can be under any allied health professional, speech, OT, or PT, then yeah, come on over. But just make sure you know how the OT schools look at that. How important are physics and chem? They're very important. You have to take physics, you have to take chem. Physics 1 and 2, chem 1 and 2. Did you ever think about OT? I did not. I was a pre-pharmacy major, but I was not thinking about OT. I went from pre-pharmacy to physical therapy. Type in pre-PT grind rejection story if you want to hear more about that. You mentioned coaching calls. How does that work? I would put the link here, but I don't want to mess up anything. I don't want to slow anything down. But Liliana? Hey, I like the name. Dr. Bernardo. If you go to preptgrind.com, if you guys want a coaching call, or if you want to learn how that works, go to preptgrind.com and scroll down till you see the coaching. And just click that button and it'll take you to the link to schedule a call with us. So yeah, that's how that works. I would drop the link here. Here, I'll just drop. I just don't want to mess up the stream. There you go. If you go to preptgrind.com, then scroll down to the coaching link, you'll see how that works. You can schedule a call with myself or Joseph. I usually have openings on Saturdays, Sundays, and Wednesdays. That's my schedule. Joseph has like Tuesday, Thursday, some other days. So we got you. What if I got C's? Is that okay? C's are okay. It just depends on a lot of stuff. C's are okay. Plenty of people have gotten into PT school with C's. But if you have like 3, 4, or 5 C's, that's a different story than 1 or 2 C's. Even with 1 or 2 C's, we always encourage people to retake those C's because it does wonders for bumping up your GPA. All right, look out for some announcements. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, podcasts. Do your internet thing, y'all. Y'all know how to do it. Y'all know how to do it. Get your last questions in, then I'm going to hop off so I can get ready for work in the morning at the clinic as a physical therapist. Do you know any websites for OT observation hours? I'm close to applying. I forgot her at. But there are... What I would do, especially if you're on TikTok, just type in occupational therapy on TikTok and ask those creators. So like OT Genius. I just forgot the ads. There's a big one. She has like 30 or 40,000 followers on TikTok. I just forgot her at name. But ask them, follow them, and ask them if they know any observation hours for OTs. How many days of work do I week? 4 days. I work 4 10-hour days. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Where are the podcasts? If you go to Spotify, or iTunes or Anchor, just type in pre-PT grind into any of those. Google Play, Anchor, Spotify, we're there. We're everywhere. Just type in our name, pre-PT grind, to any of those podcast places and you'll find us. All right, y'all. Have a good night. And stay tuned to Instagram, and I'll keep y'all posted as to when I'm coming back on live. But this was fun. Have a good night. You know where to find us if you have any more questions. Take care.